Welcome back to Be Inspired from Life. Before we talk about what to say to manipulators, we have to understand something deeper, because words only work when they come from the right place. Stoicism never starts with the other person. It starts with you, with what you choose to allow inside your mind. See, manipulators don't begin by controlling your actions. They begin by controlling your emotions. They poke, they provoke, they guilt, they confuse, not because they're powerful, but because they're desperate for a reaction. And the moment you react without awareness, you've already handed them the keys. Now here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You don't lose to manipulators because they're smarter. You lose because, for a moment, you forget who you are. You forget that your peace is not negotiable. Stoicism reminds us that the only thing truly under our control is our inner response. Not their tone, not their intentions, not their tactics, just how we choose to respond, or whether we respond at all. Think about it. A manipulator feeds on chaos. They thrive when you're emotional, defensive, over-explaining, trying to prove your worth. They want you off balance. But when you're calm, truly calm, something strange happens. The noise dies down. The power dynamic shifts. Suddenly they're the ones uncomfortable, because they're facing someone they can't move. That's why Stoic phrases work. Not because they're clever lines, not because they shut someone up dramatically. They work because they come from a place of inner stillness. When you say fewer words with certainty, you expose manipulation for what it is. Weakness disguised as control. You see, most people think strength is loud. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Strength is quiet. Strength doesn't explain itself. Strength doesn't argue with nonsense. Strength knows when to step back and let silence do the talking. When someone tries to manipulate you, they often accompany me with urgency. They want an answer now. They want a reaction now. They want you to feel guilty now. Stoicism says, slow down, because nothing that's truly good demands panic. When you pause, when you breathe, when you refuse to rush your response, you reclaim authority over yourself. And that alone disrupts the manipulator's plan. Let me say this clearly, you are not required to attend every argument you're invited to. You are not obligated to explain your boundaries. You don't owe emotional labor to someone who is trying to control you. Stoicism frees you from that invisible pressure. It teaches you that dignity is not proven through persuasion, it's demonstrated through composure. And here's where most people get it wrong. They think silencing a manipulator means humiliating them, exposing them, or winning some verbal battle. That's ego talking. Stoicism doesn't aim to win arguments. It aims to preserve inner peace. When you stop trying to win externally, you start winning internally. A manipulator expects resistance or submission. What they don't expect is calm detachment. They don't expect someone who listens without absorbing, who responds without reacting. That's why a simple, grounded phrase, delivered without anger, without sarcasm, without explanation, can end the game instantly. Because it signals one thing: I am not available for this. Understand this. Control over yourself is the highest form of power. And when you have it, you don't need to dominate anyone else. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to justify your choices. Your presence speaks before your words ever do. Stoicism trains you to ask one critical question in moments of manipulation: is this within my control? If it's not, you let it go. Opinions, accusations, emotional pressure, those belong to the other person. Your thoughts, your actions, your values, those belong to you. When you stay rooted in that distinction, manipulation loses its grip. And there's something else, something deeper. When you control your inner response, you also protect your future self. Because reacting emotionally doesn't just drain you in the moment, it lingers. It keeps you replaying conversations, second-guessing yourself, carrying resentment. Stoicism cuts that cycle off at the source. It teaches you to leave situations without carrying them home in your mind. Imagine walking away from a manipulative interaction feeling calm instead of shaken, clear instead of confused, grounded instead of angry. That's not weakness. That's mastery. That's someone who knows their worth so deeply that it doesn't need to be defended. And here's the irony. When you stop reacting, people either change their behavior or remove themselves from your life. Either way, why? Because peace is not about controlling others. It's about choosing yourself again and again without guilt. So when we talk about Stoic phrases that silence manipulators, remember this: the phrase is just the surface. The real power is the mindset behind it. A calm mind, a steady voice, an unshaken center. That's what they can't manipulate. Because when you master your inner world, no one can weaponize it against you. And in that moment, quiet, grounded, unbothered, you don't just silence manipulation, you rise above it. Thank you so much for watching. If this video inspired you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to be inspired from life for more motivational content. And remember, no matter where you are in life, you have the power to change your future. See you in the next video.